So it's been quite the year so far, hasn't it? And one of the things that happened this week was Instagram decided to make loads of announcements about lots of new features. There's were actually so many happening that we decided to create a carousel about that on our Instagram feed, which you can go and have a look at. But the five updates you need to know about really are that Instagram's moving away from square grids, rolling out tall grids. You can fit and fill your content. So you can re-crop it and edit it to adjust it so it looks good. We're also going to see custom thumbnails, highlights being moved, the ability to reorder your grid. You can also post longer reels up to 3 minutes now. And they're going to be launching a brand new video editing app called Edits. So let's have a look at each of those updates in a little bit more detail. The first is 3-minute reels.
Starting today, you can upload Reels to Instagram up to 3 minutes long. Now, historically, it's only been 90 seconds, and that's because we've wanted to focus Instagram on short form video, not on long form video. But we've heard a lot of feedback from a lot of you creators out there that 90 seconds is just too short. So we're hoping that upping that limit up to 3 minutes will help you tell the stories that you really want to tell. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. Peace.
So interesting that only on the 2nd of January this year, they advised that 30 to 90-second videos were actually better for being recommended to anyone that doesn't follow you. So if you want to get in front of non-followers, they kept saying less than 90 seconds is the best length for a video. But on Tuesday afternoon, they announced that moving forward, they will continue to improve how they surface longer reels across recommendations. So you can see on the right-hand side there that they're now kind of backtracking on that 90 seconds being the limit. And they're starting to experiment more with longer 90-second to 3-minute reels. So we will again see what happens, but I think it's certainly something to experiment with as to whether that works for you in terms of being served to non-followers. Also, we're about to see a brand new app launching. I think it's launching in February in the coming weeks, called Edits. Looks suspiciously like another app I use, so I'm sure you've got some thoughts on it too. It's not just an editing tool, but a suite of creative tools, and it's on phone only, so there will be no desktop version of this. Here are some screen grabs you can see. So there's going to be a dedicated tab for inspiration and trending audio. There'll be a new higher quality camera, the ability to share drafts with friends and other creators, all of the expected video editing tools. If you share to Instagram as a reel, there'll be powerful insights about how the reels are doing. And also the editing app will be completely free to use as well. So you can pre-order it now in the App Store, but it is officially launching in February. So we'll be testing that out and reporting back. And then also the new vertical grid layout is rolling out for many users at the moment. So as with a few of my team, we've got this from our personal accounts, but not our business accounts yet. So keep an eye out for this. But we actually suggested back in September that you should stop posting squares on Instagram and start posting these sized images, which are known as the tool feed. You can see that this has messed up a lot of people's feeds. You can see that it means your text might be cut off, or you might have slightly different elements focused in on that cover. You do have the option to use fit and fill, where you can actually change that cover and make it a lot more customizable so it fits that overall aesthetic. Other updates that are coming from Instagram are customized thumbnails on your grid, being able to, your highlights moving to a tab on your profile. So that's interesting. I think they're seeing fewer people engage with highlights, so they're moving them slightly away from that main homepage of your profile and giving people more control over the grid. So they're going to allow people to drag and reorder posts on their grid, which is interesting because for many years in social media, we were all quite obsessed with the aesthetic of how our grids looked. That very much got moved away as TikTok dominated, and it became less about that overall look of the grid and more about your content. Whereas I think we're going to move back into how your overall grid aesthetic looks and how people perceive your brand on those first few seconds they land on your feed. And then a bonus update is the option to add directly and only to your grid. So you'll be able to put some things directly on your grid so they won't then show in feed. So interesting to see how that is going to work as well. So lots and lots of new changes coming from Instagram.